But before I turn over the microphone to Brian, I would also like to welcome Brian's wife, Jennifer, and their 2 children to Toronto. We really will enjoy having you here, so welcome. I would also like to thank Cliff Fletcher. We are grateful to Cliff for serving as the general manager of the Leafs for the last 11 months. And importantly, Cliff has set the table for the Leafs that Brian will build upon. With Cliff on board, our search committee that consisted of Gord Kirk, Cliff, and myself had the luxury of conducting our general manager search without the constraints of time deadlines. Unfortunately, Cliff is not here today as he had a previously scheduled family commitment and is therefore unable to attend today's news conference. However, on behalf of the entire Toronto Maple Leafs organization, I would like to thank Cliff for his contribution and commitment and contribution to the team over the last 11 months. We are also pleased that we will continue to benefit from Cliff's experience and expertise as he will remain in his capacity in a consultant role with the Leafs. I would also like to thank Gord Kirk for his work on the general manager search. He has been a trusted confidant throughout the process and has provided an objective view of the candidates and supported the team in conducting extensive research. He has also proved to be a valued resource during the last year. Thank you, Gord. And now, on behalf of our owners and directors, I would like to welcome the Leafs' new president and general manager, Brian. Welcome to Leafs Nation and all the aspirations and expectations that come with the role. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richard. It's a great pleasure to be here. We'll have a little unusual start, I guess, because before I talk about Toronto, I need to say a few words about Anaheim. And I want to thank the Samuelis. You're all aware that they announced the new general manager about 10 days ago, and because I was still on staff, I didn't get to properly say goodbye. My wife and I, Jennifer, who's in the front row here, this will be the first time in 11 years that our kids have been in the same time zone. And we're excited about that. And that was the decision to leave Anaheim was based on family factors. It was just a notion that we were going to get our family in the same time zone no matter what it took. And the job in Anaheim was a great job. Great hockey market, great fans. Samuelis are wonderful owners. I want to thank our players. I didn't get a chance to do that. I want to thank our coaches and our staff, Bob Murray and Randy Carlisle in particular. And thank the Samuelis in particular for a wonderful, wonderful experience in Southern California. Now, Toronto. Turn the page, and the next step is almost like a dream come true for a hockey executive. I said this before. You're talking about the Vatican if you're a Catholic. You're talking about the center of the hockey universe. You're talking about one of the most important jobs in hockey on the planet, running the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's a dream job, and I couldn't be more excited to be here today. I couldn't be more excited about the job that lies ahead. This is one of the crown jewels in the National Hockey League. It's an iconic brand worldwide, and for someone to turn to you and say, we want you to run this team is just a dream come true. Like I say, it's something that, I can't really put it into words. When I first was offered the job, I probably embarrassed myself how quickly I said I wanted to take this job. That's how badly I wanted it. And as proud as I am to be here today and run this wonderful team, I'm also humbled by it. I'm aware of the tradition here. I'm aware of the burden that comes with running a team with this tradition and this history, with this rich history. And to be the guy that's going to decide how that next chapter is written is humbling. As exciting as it is, it's also humbling. And, to me, it's daunting at the same time as it's exhilarating. So rebuilding this team is not going to be easy. Cliff has made some positive steps, but changing the general manager doesn't change the team, and it doesn't change a lot of things. And it's going to take some time and some patience. Changing the general manager doesn't change the roster we're going to address tonight. It doesn't change the record of our team. It doesn't change the chapters of history with unfulfilled expectations that preceded today. What it does represent, though, is a turning of the page. For me, we're turning the page, and now we get to start to write on blank pages. and make changes and get this team to where it needs to be and the vision that ownership has for it and that I have for it. So to me, talk about philosophy. There's 3 pillars that I base my teams on. This has never changed for me. Number 1 is we play an entertaining style. We want to justify the price of the ticket every night, whether the team is successful that night or not. We believe in aggressive pursuit of the puck in all 3 zones, or possession of it desirably. We believe in answering physical challenges and playing a style that allows your young players to play and develop in a fear-free environment. That's number 1. Number 2, we believe in financial and fiscal prudence. At the end of the day, it's the fans' money and the sponsors' money. We try to spend it intelligently. We think that that's a cornerstone. It doesn't matter if a team's profitable or not. You should make sound business decisions whenever you can, and that's a trademark of my teams. It's not my money, so I try to spend it as wisely as I can. And third is community service. It's not optional. You want to play in a great city like Toronto, you will give back to this community or we'll find you somewhere else to play. It's not an optional thing here. The players are going to be more active than they've ever been here before, and the ones that don't like it won't be here long. Within that, my philosophy is simple. We believe in a top 6 forward group that has a high skill level. We believe in a bottom 6 forward group that does the plumber's work, does all the specialty jobs, shot blocking, penalty killing, fighting. We fill those roles in our bottom 6 forwards. Same with our defense. We shoot for a top 4 group that has a high skill level. The bottom 2 guys, we look to do the plumber's work, and which are really important jobs on my teams. No, not to belittle those jobs at all. I say that with great respect for that group. We've built our teams from the net out. I think you all realize in Anaheim where we committed our cap dollars. And we require as a team proper levels of pugnacity, testosterone, truculence, and belligerence. That's how our teams play. As far as players, I think our players will tell you I'm a player's GM. I believe in the players. I think the players in the National Hockey League are not just the best athletes in pro sports, but the best people in pro sports. The way they treat each other, the way they treat the media, the way they treat the fans, we are blessed to have this group. So I'm a player's GM. I believe in this group. Typically, when you take over a team, there's some issues. It's not the coach you hired, so that's the first question is. I think you all know with Ron Wilson how far I go back, how much respect I have for him, as well as our personal friendship. I couldn't be happier to take over a team that has Ron and his assistants, by the way, in place. And if I had a chance to hire a coach today, I'd hire Ron Wilson. So that part's a great fit for me. Ron and I share a lot of the same philosophies as far as the game is, how the game is played. Unfortunately, we didn't share a lot of the same skill levels when we played together in college. He was a star, and I won the academic award every year. Front office staff, as Richard mentioned, I believe in giving people an opportunity to prove themselves. I believe that with our players. I think organizational fairness requires that. We're going to give the players a chance to show that they want to stay and belong. We're going to give the front office staff the same thing. Cliff has a job here as long as he wants one, as far as I'm concerned. And I told him we'd sit down and talk about that on this road trip. I've been asked about Joe Neuendijk the last couple days, and I have a lot of time and respect for Joe. Rest of the front office, same thing. Everyone's going to get a chance here to show that they want to be part of things and do it my way, and be part of the future here. And if you look, my track record's pretty clear on this. In Hartford, in Vancouver, not going in Anaheim, not going in and making major changes, giving everybody a chance to belong and fit in. As far as the next step, first thing I have to do is familiarize myself with our team. You think you know a team, and I've got all the scouting reports on this team. I've got years worth of computer reports on the Toronto Maple Leafs, but you don't know your team until you have your team for some period of time, and you get your coach's input on it, and you watch them practice, and you get to interact with the players. So that's the top priority. I'll be on this road trip coming up. And then if people are expecting a lot of rapid change, I do want to raise one anomaly, which is, I think, important. The Christmas trade freeze that goes in, the NHL has a trade freeze that kicks in on December